Is Samsung focusing on the right upgrades with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 or just playing it safe? With so many leaks floating around, one of the biggest questions has been, how thin are these foldables really going to be? Some early reports suggested that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 might set a new record for the world's thinnest foldable. But now, with access to reliable computer-aided design files, we finally know what's real and what's not. Let's break it down. Starting with the Galaxy Z Fold 7, when it's fully opened, it's 4.5 millimeters thin. Fold it and it becomes 9 millimeters thick. That's incredibly slim, but not quite enough to beat the Oppo Find N5, which comes in at 8.9 millimeters when folded. So the Fold 7 is just 0.1 millimeter thicker, not something you'll probably notice in real life, but technically, it means Samsung won't be taking the crown for the thinnest foldable this year. The phone's full unfolded dimensions are 158.43 by 143.14 by 4.5 millimeters. And from the renders, it carries a triple camera setup with each lens placed individually on a vertical camera strip, very familiar to longtime Galaxy users. Now, let's talk about the Galaxy Z Flip 7. This one sticks to what Samsung did last year. It's 6.9 millimeters thick when opened, the same as the Z Flip 6. The overall measurements are 166.61 by 75.23 by 6.8 millimeters. And the thickness goes up to 9.17 millimeters once you include the camera bump. So if you were hoping for a thinner clamshell foldable, you might be a little disappointed. But Samsung had a good reason for not trimming it down further, because they're giving us a bigger battery instead. The new Flip 7 is expected to come with a 4,300 mAh battery. That's 300 mAh more than the 4,000 mAh battery in last year's model. While that number might not sound huge at first, in a foldable phone where space is limited, every bit counts. A larger battery means longer screen time, better standby life, and fewer trips to the charger, something that matters way more to most people than a tiny change in thickness. Looking at the big picture, it's clear that Samsung is choosing to fine-tune rather than completely redesign. Instead of trying to break records just for the sake of it, they're working on areas that affect how we use these devices every day. Foldable phones aren't just about being flashy anymore, they're turning into practical, daily use devices. That means battery life, durability, and comfort in the hand matter just as much as how thin they are. For the Fold series, even though it didn't beat Oppo's thinnest record, the design is still among the slimmest on the market. And for the Flip series, Samsung knows it already has one of the thinnest phones out there, so instead of pushing further, they focused on improving something people will actually notice: battery life. It's a quiet shift in strategy, but a smart one, with both phones likely launching very soon. We'll know more about other upgrades to like performance, camera tweaks, and software features. But based on the dimensions and battery improvements we've seen so far, it's clear that Samsung is playing the long game here, focusing on experience over records. So now it's your turn. Would you rather have a phone that's the thinnest in the world or one that lasts longer and performs better? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more clear, real-world tech updates you can count on. Do you love taking close-up shots but hate how hard it is to get them just right? The next Google Pixel might finally fix that. A new report suggests that the upcoming Pixel 10 is getting a special camera feature to make macro photography much better, and the way it works is pretty smart. Instead of depending only on the ultra-wide camera like previous Pixel phones did, the Pixel 10 could start using its telephoto lens for close-up shots. This method is called telemacro photography, and it's already been tested by a few other phone brands. Samsung tried it on the Galaxy Z Fold 4, and Oppo added it to the Find N5. Now, it looks like Google is ready to take this idea further by using both the telephoto and ultra-wide lenses. Depending on how far you are from your subject, the Pixel 10 may automatically choose the best one for your shot. This could solve common problems with macro photography, like blurry focus, bad lighting, or accidentally casting a shadow because your phone is too close to the object. Using a telephoto lens for close-up shots comes with real benefits. First, telephoto lenses usually have better optics, which means clearer and sharper images. Second, it lets you take photos from a little farther away. That's a big deal if you're trying to capture something small and sensitive, like an insect, without getting too close and scaring it away. It also helps you avoid blocking the light with your hand or the phone itself. On the Pixel 9 Pro, macro shots used the 48 megapixels ultra-wide lens. While that setup worked fine in many cases, it had its limits when it came to distance and lighting, with the Pixel 10 possibly switching to a telephoto lens for certain close-up shots. We could see much better image quality without any need for extra sensors or hardware, and this is just one part of the bigger camera updates expected. On the Pixel 10, Google is also planning some changes to the phone lineup overall. Rumors say the Pixel 10 series might launch on August 20th, with all four models Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL, and the Pixel 10 Pro Fold possibly hitting stores by August 28th. That's slightly later than the Pixel 9 series launch last year, but it might be because Google wants to make sure all the phones are ready to ship at once. Along with the improved camera setup, you can also expect new color choices. The regular Pixel 10 might come in Ultra Blue, Limoncello, Iris, and Midnight. The Pro versions could come in Sterling Gray, Light Porcelain, Midnight, and Smoky Green. The foldable model may stick to just Sterling Gray and Smoky Green. What makes this macro feature special is that it adds real value without making the phone more expensive or bulky. Google isn't adding more lenses, it's using the ones already there in smarter ways. And that could make a big difference in how you use your phone every day. You won't have to switch modes or think about which lens to use. The phone could do it for you, choosing the one that gives you the best result whether you're snapping a flower, an insect, or a small object indoors. So if you've struggled to get good macro shots in the past, the Pixel 10 might be worth waiting for. What do you think? Is this the kind of feature that would make you pick Google's next phone over the rest? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more simple updates on the latest tech.
What happens when a company leaks its own secret? You usually expect leaks to come from insiders or leakers on social media, right? But this time, Samsung beat them all by leaking its own upcoming phones through one of its apps. Yes, you heard that right. Samsung just revealed the names of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7 without even saying a word publicly. And it's kind of hilarious how it happened. Let's rewind for a second. People have been talking for months about what Samsung's next foldable phones might be called. Of course, the most obvious guess was Fold 7 and Flip 7. But Samsung hadn't confirmed anything. No teasers, no posters, nothing official.